When we set out to make Toxic Waters, none of our studio had any coding experience of graphic design or in sound design. This was truly our first project through and through. What united us and inspired all of this was a passion for creation, and of course video games. The idea that we all believe in is that video games are the most powerful medium for telling a story. When in a play you want a character to feel alone, you put them in the centre of the stage with a single spotlight on them. You surround them in darkness. In a game, you can do the same, but it's not the viewer who feels the actor is alone, no. Games make the viewer themselves feel alone. This we felt was the perfect tool for creating empathy. When we chose conservation as our theme, we wanted to invoke the emotion of intense empathy and pity for the creature that you play as. They're alone. Their pod is stolen by fishermen and they're forced to explore a world far bigger than they are just to survive. Toxic Waters, more than anything, is meant to convey the emotions we assumed sea life must feel. Fear of the unknown, only being able to see a few feet in front of you, the constant dangers that surround you from predator and prey alike, and most importantly, the isolation of being a single fish in an endless ocean. In these murky, waste-ridden waters, a dolphin's only means of navigation is their unique sonar. We replicated this as the main mechanic with which the rest of the game revolves around. Normal platforming challenges are made difficult by the inability to see. We made the toxification of the oceans fantastical by creating these large, mutated versions of common sea creatures. All of the world of Toxic Water is black, in complete darkness, with only the occasional glow of coral and the bright flashes of undersea life that give it colour. These create an almost horror-like atmosphere in which the next danger could be right in front of you, and you wouldn't know it. Adding to this rich, almost horror-like atmosphere is our sound design. If any lesson is to be learned from the creation of Toxic Waters, it's that a good sound design can make or break a game. Having all sounds and all music made by a sound designer part of the team added a consistency and immersion to our world. In our previous pitch, we talked about the unexplored potential of a story-based mobile game. While traditionally story experiences are left for PC or consoles, modern phone games have the storage and ability to run all sorts of experiences. We feel that a story-based mobile game is an untapped market that we want to try and use. Our game is entirely optimised for mobile, able to run on even the lowest end of machines, and is playable with only touch. In the mobile version, you can press and hold to have the dolphin follow your finger, and tap to initiate a boost. To monetize such a project, there are a few different options. One is to have microtransactions. Some level-based games charge per level, but we found this to be difficult to justify, so we instead decided to go with a more simple single purchase method. The few story-based mobile games that exist, such as Limbo or Badlands, have this as their method of monetization. We found that in our questioning of testers, that though this would result in a smaller payer base, it would be preferable to a microtransaction-based monetization, as the lack of multiplayer content makes it so that people aren't very likely to pay for aesthetical changes, and paying to make the game easier in ways such as extra lives or extra boosts kind of goes against what we want to do as a studio. An ideal third method would be to just use advertisements, but the structure of the game makes it too difficult, as there would be too long a break between levels to have frequent enough advertisements to make up the difference in money. We also talked about having regular updates for our game. In the time between the two rounds, we were able to add a second level, with several new mechanics, bubble streams, pufferfish that distort your screen, even our first mini-boss in the form of a gigantic mutated pistol shrimp. In the end, we think, for our first project, Toxic Waters was a success. Though it's rough around the edges, it showed us all that game creation was not some impossible task, that with enough work and an attitude where you're willing to learn, even amateurs who've never coded before can create things that are enjoyable. We hope we will get the chance to make many more games and get better and better at our craft with time.